But there's a funny thing about 9/11. The government wanted to pass this Patriot Act. Well, in order for them to pass the Patriot Act, they needed leverage, for lack of a better term. They knew that they couldn't pass it without it. Well, what they needed was for the nation to declare a state of emergency as a whole. Not a couple of states who got hit by a hurricane. They needed the nation as a whole to declare a state of emergency. Okay? 9/11 brought chaos to America. People are speaking out about being involved in this conspiracy between the Saudis, Saudi Arabians, and us, for them to come over and attack our country and make it look legit. Okay? There were demolition experts near 9/11 when it happened. They said it sounded exactly like a controlled demolition. Pop, 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 pop. Bombs going off on every floor. Now, there was a YouTube video a while back. They compiled a bunch of pieces of the 9/11 footage and actually showed. Now, you have this part up here has the airplane in it, okay? And it explodes. Well, when that explodes and the tower starts falling, tell me how come, 15, 20 floors below, you see these small plumes out of certain windows way down here. It doesn't make any sense unless a bomb ignited early and you got these little mini explosions out of the lower floors. The other thing that doesn't make sense is that the Twin Towers were compiled 3 different sections, total different sections. The reason for that being, if the top section started to give way, it would not break the bottom 2. The top section would crumble and fall out over the sides. Maybe bust a few windows on the way down, but not demolish the whole building. It was designed that way for a specific purpose. Okay? The other thing that makes me wonder about this is the fact that this being a crime scene of sorts, why would they take all the pieces of the airplane away from the scene before it could be fully analyzed? Why? What were they trying to hide? I mean, yeah, I can understand. They want to move shit out of the way so that if there's alive people trapped down there, that underneath all the rubble, that they can get them out and all that kind of shit. I can understand that. But completely removing every piece of airplane and leaving the rock behind? Seriously? Are you serious? My daughter's being a chatterbox. She's not screaming or upset. That's how she talks. But, that was just something to touch on. And seeing that all of these little bits and pieces, and there's more than what I just said. There are more bits and pieces than that. I haven't done extensive research on it because I'm one of the people that wants to think that our government wouldn't do something like that. But my husband has taught things in the military that are very far from that thinking. Let's put it this way. They are more for sacrificing the few for the many. That means that if the government decided, oh, well, we're going to have you guys come over and attack us so that we can pass this bill or this Patriot Act or whatever the fuck it was, we're going to have you come over here to do that so that we can pass this. We can put it out there, and if all these people die in the process, oh, well, that's just too bad because we're going to help the the nation as a whole. These people over here are expendable. They don't matter. These people right here, everybody else in this nation, they matter. These people are expendable. We can get rid of them and there will be no problem with that. But we can get this out there. That's why we are going to sacrifice these people. These people are going to be our sacrificial lambs. Does it not make sense? The military teaches you these kind of things. The military, along with the government, would be the ones who organize this kind of attack on our nation. I mean, think about it. The Pentagon has very, very high security. They have guns all around it. And that plane would not have completed one full circle around the Pentagon. It made 2 circles around the Pentagon. That plane would not have completed one full circle around the Pentagon without complying. That thing would have been shot out of the fucking air. No questions. Well, some of you are saying, well, why didn't they do that to the Pentagon? They did it to the Twin Towers. They did it to make it look like a more widespread attack. The second one failed. Now, what about the plane in Pennsylvania or Nebraska or wherever it was? I'll tell you something about that. Not a lot of people know about that plane because the military came in and take every piece of that plane before somebody could get there and say, yep, plane crashed. Analyze it. Send crime scene in there. Were there any people on board? The military will tell you what they want you to know. They're not going to tell you the truth. Do you honestly think that if we knew everything about the government, that we would be a happy people? I don't think so. I think there are more dark corners in the government than anywhere else in the world. I mean, I'm sure other countries have their own dark corners, but governments in general have a lot of secrets. And, you know, you can't go by everything you hear. You can't take everything to heart.